Mr. Luna, what's the
What
word,
up?
man?
What up? What up?
Yo, first of all, I want to thank you for taking some time, man. And the viewers, just so you know, man, I'm a little dark on this side, but we going, man. We traveling. We're over here reporting live from the Caribbean. Mr. Luna, man, let's start off real quick, man. A lot of people don't know, man, you're a real good friend of mine.
Sir.
We've been able to really bond through the art and the creative process. We worked on a lot of projects together, so I really just wanted to have an organic conversation with you amongst other creators too that I know and I feel like I can bring to the people and just kind of show a different side of these artists to people. And I wanted to start with you just because I feel like me and you go the deepest, man, and we got a lot of adventures we shared, a lot of projects, a lot of experiences, a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
came
man.
into my life at a point where, I was explosively creating everything that was coming out of my head, and I was going through a lot too. And at the time, I think one of our first crazy conversations, I was talking about Daddy in the Kitchen, and then it kind of put fire into my ass because I had only made like 2 or 3 videos of cooking videos and stuff. And then I think after the conversation with you, that's when I came up with the game plan to do the 30 episodes, like the 30 videos of different cooking stuff. That was just an experiment, that wasn't, a lot of people ask me if I was trying to be a chef. I'm like, nah, I just cook and I just want to make videos.
That was stretching.
How I was feeling.
That's what we call stretching. That's what we call stretching.
It was an exercise equivalent to 10, 15 push-ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, I hear you on
so
that.
That was my introduction to you. You inspired me to fucking do something that I had in my head, and you put the fire into my ass because you were really hyped about the cooking concept. So we had one conversation, and then it led to me really pushing forward and making that shit happen.
That's dope, man. I appreciate that, man. Let's actually feed off of that what you just said right now. And I remember when I first came into the picture, you were high key focused on videos, just strictly videos, and pictures were kind of like here nor there. And then I know that and not to take credit, but I know that just being around, I remember you sharing something along the lines of that. I helped you realize how important the picture documentation was for your own work with the video work. I would love for you to just tell the people a little bit on why or how did pictures itself, not me, but pictures themselves play a role into your own craft and just how did they become more frontline versus secondary?
Well, pictures, I feel, have always been a part of the picture. I see that, no pun intended. Yeah. Pictures have always been in my life. You know what I'm saying? Pictures have always been in my life. I've been taking pictures. I mean, honestly, the first time I really made a video with a computer on my own was a slideshow, and it was a bunch of pictures of a wrestling match, of wrestling toys. And then I had them fighting, and then I had Bret Hart beating Shawn Michaels in WrestleMania 12 because Shawn Michaels really won. So I was pissed that Shawn Michaels won. So I did a slideshow of that match with stop animation. That's what it is now. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just having fun. I was in 7th grade, And then I would at the same time, I was making family home videos as a kid. I broke like 7 of my grandma's cameras, her video cameras. I was just watching a video right now. I was in the middle of cleaning up. I found like stacks of DVDs and CDs, like films I haven't seen in a while, like videos I made for the family. And there was one I made for my little cousin's birthday, but I've been doing that since I was a kid, and the way I would do it, I would film it on the video camera, grandma's video camera, and then I'd plug the video camera to the TV and plug the VCR to the TV, and then you press play on the video camera, and then you hit record on the VCR, and I was able to make home videos and then have fun with it. But I didn't know what I was doing was editing. I didn't know that was like the beginning of it.
You were flirting with your future, man.
It was just what I was doing with the shit I had in front of me, which was like grandma had a camera, she had a VCR, and grandma was always recording novelas. So as kids, we used to always know how to record cassettes. You know,
Legit.
grábame a las 8, grábame a las 8. I was just like, I gotta record this shit for grandma. She's going to church.
No me grabaste la novela. No me grabaste la novela.
Yo, so at 8 o'clock, you have to put the little paper inside the VHS so I can erase whatever was on that movie and record her novela.
Yeah,
I don't care. I recorded over Beauty and the Beast just to record her novela because I had no more cassettes. You know, man, this is like the 8-9-year-old me. You know what I'm saying? And
nah, that's lit though,
always been a part of me, but I just didn't know that. It was something that would, you know, that would become my life. You know, because I'm a full-time storyteller, and I love telling stories. You know, and the mediums and formats that I tell those stories the most are video and photos. And yet at the time when I met you, I was making a lot of videos, you know, and I was doing mostly videos. Photos were there, but they were there for personal. Like I needed my own pictures to show I was doing this shit. Because first it's the product, right? What you're filming. And then there's the behind the scenes of that product. So now you got a separate product. And then you have a long version of that behind the scene and a short version of that behind the scene. So you got 3 products now. And if you got photos, you got 4 products. Now, if you have people with their own cameras behind the scenes doing their own behind the scenes shit, you could have like 10 different coverages for this one project, you know. So I've always taken like documenting you know, my project serious, and I think that's what really triggered my fascination with wanting to just leave the house more and just take more of my pictures, because I was going out to these jobs and I was making mistakes out on the field. And that was a big fucking problem. Like you can't go out to the field and make mistakes when somebody's trusting you to be at 100%. So I had to leave the house more often to work on my own ideas. You know, for me, the business came right away when I started making videos and I made money right away. This is literally like 2 weeks after making my first video, I made money off of editing something for someone.
Stop right there real quick. Stop right there. What was the first job you ever got paid for? Creatively, like with a camera.
Creatively, the first
with a job, like with a camera. What was the first gig that somebody was like, "Yo, I'll pay you to do this for me"? What was it? I'm curious because mine was a Sweet 15 and I charged crackhead prices. so I'm always curious. I'm always curious to where creatives got their first breakthrough in terms of like they made money and what was the budget on that. I'm always curious as to those 2 things.
The first thing I can think of, if I really think about the first time someone put money in my hand for doing something creative or video, would have to be Tayana. She's right now she works for Univision. I'm not sure if she works for Univision. It's a
shout out to Tayana.
Tayana Lachelle. I'll never forget her.
Shout out to Tayana.
She's in the Latino news media. So I'm not sure which publication, but she's in front of the camera journalist now. But before that, we were in class together, and she needed me to edit something, and she knew I had a YouTube channel, so she paid me $100 to edit something for her, and I couldn't believe it.
So your first taste at business with the camera was editing.
Editing something, yeah, editing a video.
Interesting for me, man. That's interesting, man. Mine was a Sweet 15 by my neighbor, Neva and Nelson. Shout out to them. I'm still cool with them. They still call me for birthday parties. Shout out to them. But yo, all jokes aside, man, I did a Sweet 15 for them, man. I think I charged like $40-$50. It was like crazy. But you know what? It was my first time ever. I never even thought of making money off of that. It was literally my neighbor, like, yo, I always see you with a camera. Come take some pictures. I was going to do it off the strength because I didn't know even where to price anything. And at the end of the day, I was like, nah, you can't do this for free. Here's $60. And then that's when I was like, oh, shit, I can make money. But if she gave me 60 off the strength, I could have charged 100. And then that's when my mind just started like.
The most powerful thing with you is that, you know, you discovered your art and your talent first right away. And that's how it should be. You know, you're being able to discover your voice, discover your craft, discover what you're good at first. That's more important than
I agree
anything.
with you. I agree with you. I definitely developed my skills before I even
And,
dove into the
and a lot
business
of
world.
people, I
For
interviewed
sure.
this
For
painter. I
sure.
interviewed this painter, bro. He was his name is Ocean Clark. It's an interview I did, I think,
Well,
in
I like that name. That's
2000.
like for a book.
Ocean
Ocean
Clark.
Clark. That's like for a book.
Yeah,
That's like
his
a book
brother's name is
character.
River Clark. His brother's name is River Clark, and
Yo, that's
River's a
a book
photographer.
character. Yo, they said the Clark brothers.
The Clark. Now they have one more. The older brother, his name is Walt. He does tattoos. River is a photographer, and Ocean is a painter. They're all the three. They're brothers. They're fucking nasty. So
That's
Ocean,
crazy.
Ocean looked like the craziest one, right? And then he, in the middle of his interview, he was just like, the problem that most artists have these days is they struggle selling their art. I'm like, oh shit, that they struggle making money with their art. And in my head, I don't have that problem. I never had that problem making money with art because I made it a focus right away. Because I think the salesperson in me, it triggered the moment someone said, how much for this? I'm just like, there's idiots making money off of this. I got to turn this into something, you know, and it began clicking. I trying to find ways I can package what I do creatively and turn it into a business, you know. But he said that out loud, and that's something that I never forgot. And it's something I'm always, you know, preaching to people who have enough familiarity. I can't even say familiarity. You know how to say that
I
shit?
wasn't even gonna try. I was gonna try to help you, and I was like, I'm a trip.
Familiarity.
I'm a trip right with them,
They
though.
have enough. They're comfortable enough with their skills and their craft that they can step out into the field and say, I want to sell this. But a lot of artists, there's all different kind of artists, bro. There's artists that don't ever need to do that. They don't ever need to freelance. They just want to create, and they're fine with living life. And their art is so personal to them that you can't talk money with them. You know, they will fuck with you if they want to fuck with you, and they won't if they don't. And I love that. I love that part of it. You know, I just don't want to work for nobody. So I'd make videos for anybody that want to make videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, there's a part of me, I don't feel like a sellout. I feel like I still have my own message and my own belief system. Like when it comes to creating stuff that comes out of my heart. That when I think about stuff I don't get paid for, all my shit is like art empowerment, entertainment. I'm always trying to teach people something. You know, my first documentary series was called Mr. Dante Luna, and I did that because it's like my classroom. My logo is like a 5-year-old's name tag. You like in school, they taught us how to write. Because I'm always learning. That's where my logo comes from. You know, I'm always learning. I'm a big fucking kid. No matter where I go, what I attain, what I experience, I always feel like I'm learning. You know, so it's just like my creative side will never ever turn off. Like I'll never run out of ideas. You know, so as long as I stay active and comfortable and familiar with my craft and my skills, I can sell it. I can sell it to other people. I can take someone else's passion and filter it through my expression and give them something for
That makes
X amount of
perfect
money.
sense, man. That makes perfect sense. It's all about knowing your product. You know what I mean? It's all about knowing your product. Like if you're selling coffee and I find out that you wake up early every morning, now I know how to sell my coffee to you. You get what I'm saying? Or like,
I think people create value for so many things. Like when you walk into a mall, what kind of anxiety do you get? You know, and now there's a different kind of anxiety with fucking touching people and shit. But when you walk into a mall, do you get the anxiety of, do I need to buy something? I need something. I gotta have something. Like, do I need to have it? Or do you get the anxiety that, damn, look at all these motherfuckers spending money. How do I jump in all these pockets? You know what I mean? You're either a hustler or a consumer. I think we as Americans are naturally like trained consumers.
one of the
We're
other.
trained to buy. I've always in my mind thinking, what the fuck am I gonna sell these people? You know, that's forever in my mind.
Now, 100%. Listen, I've been the same way, man. Since that Sweet 15 that I did for $60, bro. I just been like, yo, how do I turn that?
That must have felt amazing. No, I don't give a fuck. $60, but being able to walk away with money with something that you know you
bro,
can do.
listen, that changed my life. I didn't even notice it was crackhead prices till like 4 years later, though. And I started reflecting, and I'm like, yo, wait a sec, though. You know what I mean? But yo, Neva, you owe me some money. No, sir.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? $60.
No. But check it out.
You know how long I had to work at Wendy's for $60, man?
Yeah, dude, check it out. I used to get
couldn't
paid.
even work an 8-hour shift.
Bro, my first real job was at a corner store, and I said real job in terms of society. My first real job was at a corner store at a little bodega down the street from my house. And I used to get paid $70 a week, my guy. $70 a week. I will blow that. I remember the first check I bought this gray Adidas hoodie with a hat, gone. $60. I mean $70, gone, bro. But I worked all week for that 70. I worked all week for that 70, and it was dope. So to make 760 in 2-3 hours, I was like, yo, this is mind changing, mind blowing, life changing. Like, this is about to get serious. And that's when I just started flipping, man. Up until last year or the year before that, I worked with the Boston Public Health Commission, just cashing my biggest check for photography, bro. $15K, bro. 15. I went from $60, bro. I went from $60 at a Sweet 15.
And he'll never forget that feeling, man.
Bro, never, bro. To walking out of a meeting with city officials paying me for pictures, only pictures that they're gonna put on ads, and it's all over bus stops now in Boston, on Blue Hill Ave, on the poles and those little banners they got. So not only to get the $15K, right, and be able to pay rent, take care of a whole bunch of life shit, but just be able to see my work in public, see people waiting for the bus standing next to my work, dog. Like, that's mind blowing. It's mind.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you, man. I think you've always had that in you, man. You always had that in you.
Listen, I'm gonna take this time actually to thank you, bro, because I remember a lot of people don't know this story. I actually wanted to save the story for this conversation, man. A lot of people don't know that you got me into the and I won't say the business side of it because I was already making money. You got me into the branding side of it. You really helped me dive into that part. Prior to when we got, I don't know if you remember, I forgot what our first job was. I want to say Lloyd Banks, maybe I'm making that up. But it was one of those along those lines. I want to say somewhere in the Middle East, one of those jobs we did, and we did a bunch at the Middle East, man. I can't.
Yeah. I don't even remember the first thing we did. I can't.
Me neither, though. That's what I'm saying. I know for a fact it had to either be like, I want to say the Cassidy. It could have been Lloyd Banks. It could have been, we did a few over there. The whole point is we did one of those jobs. We get back. I think I'm lying to you, actually. Who was the dude who did the graffiti for Arroyo? Keith Mize. I think that was one of the first ones we did, actually. He was doing the graffiti when Felix Arroyo was running. He did the graffiti behind your grandmother's crib.
Yeah.
I popped up with the camera and I did a time lapse of it. After that, we went home. This is a true story, dog, behind the branding of FLAKO Valley, bro. We go home, and I'm downloading all the images to give them to you. And you started people. It was my grandmother's house. I was back when I lived in my grandmother's house. You go, and long story short, you seen all my work that I had stored up, and you was like, yo, bro, what you doing with this, dog? And I forgot. It was a combo along those lines, and I was just like, like, this art, I keep it. It's my art. What else do you do with it? You know what I mean? It's like, nah, nigga, you need a website, you need this, you gotta put your shit out there, boom, boom. So I remember just thinking, you know what, fuck it, bro. And I just started running with the site, bro. And then, once I started that site, everything was history after that, bro. My branding just took off after that, man. So I want to just thank you for helping me dive into the branding side of it and really understand what it means to brand. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, and this is dope for the listeners too, man. I feel like it's very important. You could be a dope artist, but you got to have a brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when you was on the fence about FLAKO Valley, and you were about to scratch it. You were completely about to scratch it. You were about to go in another direction.
That's actually a dope conversation too, man, because I was always dealing with that whole, I always like calling it the Kunta Kinte disease. You know what I mean? When it's like you're battling between being too black or too Spanish in a market where there's a lot of white people, and it's like, dang, do I call myself Kunta Kinte or do I call myself Toby? And that was really my argument. It was like, do I call myself FLAKO Valley, which is my identity, my self-given identity, who I was born into, or do I go by Pedro because it's a little more approachable? And it was just like, and I had deep combos with you and a few other my friends actually too. Shout out to Mike. We had deep-ass combos about my identity, man, and just my culture, walking into rooms full of white people and my comfort levels of saying FLAKO Valley versus saying Pedro. And now, bro, I got, once again, coming back, I just walked out of a room as FLAKO Valley getting paid 15K by a council white woman. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Get
yeah,
it.
you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's 2020, man. Ain't nothing to hide no more. Ain't nothing to hide, man. People like, we gotta break barriers, man. And one thing I learned too, and I'll close off this statement by saying this, man, is one thing I've been doing is I don't even walk in rooms and say Pedro no more. I say Pedro. There's a difference. There's a difference,
There's a big
bro.
difference. There's a big
There's a
difference.
difference, man. And I call
Pedro is what it sounds like. Pedro is how you say it.
boom. And my thing is, I don't need to change my name for your comfort or to help you pronounce it better. Now, if you stumble 2-3 times, I want you to stumble 2-3 times so you know how we feel now.
I
Stumble
mean, you can
saying,
say Pedro, and then you got 10 different people who say Pedro differently. You also teaching them Spanish.
boo,
So
and
y'all
that's what I'm
converting
saying.
culture.
And exactly, and that's what I'm saying. And they're allowed to experience that however they want. But I gotta say Pedro though. Because that's the name that was given to me, bro. I can't whitewash it. I can't be a Pedro just because it sounds easier to maneuver. Nah, my name's
Yeah. Now
Pedro,
you're
bro.
you're a really complex dude. So it's just like it makes sense to me that you have who you are in person, and but this name Flaco Veli to me had this big ambiance to it. Like it has this aura to it. It felt like it's something that could stand in any space, black, white, any color. I love the name. It sounds like a Da Vinci name. You know what I mean? And that's how I felt about you because I knew you were able to do photos, and I knew you had a love for music. And I knew you was fucking like drawing and making shit. I mean, I was just like, damn, this motherfucker is all around. He's gonna express himself no matter what. And then one name might do it. But then who he is as a person, it masks all that because Pedro as a speaker is extremely as a person as well. You know what I mean? Too. 'Cause I think you're somebody that can really connect with people, and that could be separate from your art, but at the same time, it's all under the same umbrella of who you are as a person. And just a Flaco Veli to me. When I hear Flaco Veli, I know I'm gonna learn something. When I hear Flaco Veli, I know it's gonna be something that's not superficial and that has substance to it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that a lot, man. I appreciate that a whole lot. And actually, I
Yeah.
want to take that time too to shift over a little bit into the elephant in the room, man. Us as artists, how have you been dealing with these unprecedented times, man? How has it affected your creativity? How has it not? How has it boosted your creativity? How has it not? Just where's Dante Luna in the mix of all these
In
unprecedented
the midst
times?
of this crazy pandemic, in the midst of like this, the world kind of being on pause right now, um, how has it affected my creative life? Me as an artist, it's given me a lot more time to be at the computer, but I'm always at the computer. I don't know how much it's affected my life other than taking away time from my daughter, which affects me. Um, because I share time with my daughter and with her mother. So Isabella during this quarantine time, she's with her mom. So it's the longest I've spent without my daughter, and it's fucking with me. So creatively, has it affected me? I don't know. It may have. It's just I know that it's kind of fucked with. I feel like I'm rewiring myself in some ways, but creatively, I don't know how much it has affected me because I spend so much time with myself. Solitude and isolation is the only way I can manage a healthy life. I need my me time. I need to be at this computer. I need to create time to focus on the things I'm leaving behind, and I'm constantly thinking about that. It seems morbid, but I'm constantly reflecting on death and time. I'm to the point where I do enjoy life. I love life every day. I think this time, how it affected me business wise. I had a few weddings I had to reschedule, which fortunately enough, we have dates in the future that I'm available for. So it's just like I was able to dodge a lot of bullets business wise. Creatively, it hasn't slowed me down too much. I would love to be out the house more.
Sure.
But I'm okay with being at the computer because I have a whole world of stuff to edit. I got hundreds of interviews that people have never seen. I don't feel like in a hurry to do anything. You know, at this point, I'm just taking care of myself. I'm trying to be healthy. You know, I'm lucky my girl gave me a crash course on germs for the last 5-6 years. So it's just like I'm okay. I feel like, you know, I've been ready for. I watch a lot of movies too, so it's just like I feel I'm prepared for this type of shit. Crazily enough, you know, I think it's taught us a lot as who we are as people. You know, we're consumers. You know, it's funny that we stop spending so much, and you know, we're not going. You know, our lifestyle is spending. You know, people find things to spend money on.
Yeah.
You know, they have the anxiety of buying shit. You know, what happens when you stop buying shit, and then what happens when you go back to the house and you have conversation with your family? You just brought us back to the 90s for a second, you know, with the exception of adding internet, you know, but we're back inside the house, you know, having family conversations, you know, having more conversations with the people we love, you know, and especially in a society now that's more built around the individual, you know, about what, you know, what's best for me, what's best for me, what's best for me. You know, I think we're really organic. We're an organic society. You know, I think that's why the only problem I have with quarantine and trying to isolate people to their houses is that we're organic as people. You know, we're not fucking lawnmowers. We're not a car. You know, if a car is broken, has a bad wheel, you replace the wheel. If a tree is broken and you can't replace it, you know, it grows back. That's organic. You know, if I put a lawnmower in a garage and I put 2 candles on, right, 2 lawnmowers together, right, and I put it in the garage, I put candles on, I put Boys to Men on, those 2 lawnmowers will rot and degenerate and never turn into nothing.
No
You
matter
know, but if
what.
I put 2 cats in there, they can reproduce. 2 people, they reproduce. Like we're not machines, you know, so you can't isolate people. People need people. We're organic.
Social creatures.
You know, so we can't, I think we can quarantine ourselves to our homes, but you know, when you think about them blocking off states and then, you know, blocking off borders and stuff like that, and when I think about the most extreme form of that, we're gonna have a fucking cop in front of your house making sure you don't leave the fucking house. Like, is that the most extreme version of it? So I think about those things as well. You know, like that kind of scares me, like, because I don't think you can't tell a fucking squirrel to stay in his tree. It's not gonna fucking happen. That squirrel's gonna be a fucking squirrel. That squirrel's gonna move.
Legit.
Tell a worm to stay in his hole. He's not gonna stay in his hole. He's gonna make his moves. He's a fucking worm. He got no legs, no arms, but he's gonna move. So
Yeah,
like, we as
and I
humans,
agree
if you
with you,
tell
man.
us to stay home, we might fucking crack. We might create shit. I'm looking forward to seeing how many people create stuff. I love it because, you know, people have more time with themselves and they're more with their ideas. So I know there's gonna be some new inventions. There's gonna be
For sure.
writers
Nah,
are
I
in their
agree with
house
you, man.
writing shit.
I feel
And
like
then
this
look
is
at that.
gonna be a prime time to release work.
The world is entertained by fucking stories right now. The whole world is shut down. The number one source of entertainment are fucking stories.
And art,
And
bro. If you think
that's
about
all
it,
we've
art.
dedicated our life to. And I think it's like it's crazy that it's just an affirmation to me that I've been working on. I've been doing the right thing with my life, you know, and my heart goes out to all the people who are like affected by any disease, you know what I mean? You know, COVID-19 is one disease, but I know there's a whole list of diseases that, you know, rattle the earth too, you know.
Yo, real quick, I can't help but to ask, man, because I know if I peeped it, some of the viewers peeped it, man. Tell me the story behind that house in the back.
Right here, this Freddy Krueger house.
The Freddy
It's a
Krueger
Nightmare from
house.
Elm Street. Yeah, my boy Dave made that. He that's the cosplay who cosplays as Freddy Krueger.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
So he made that for me.
Nice, man. That's lit, bro. I was looking at it, man. I was just like, yo, what's that over there, man? You always got some cool shit in your room, man.
Yeah, nah, I got my fucking Ninja Turtles. I'm dying to like put them up. You know, this quarantine almost had me sell them shits. I got $1,000 sitting in that corner right there. Ninja Turtles. They're 4 statues. They're like this big.
Don't sell those. Like, if you need a loan, you call me, but don't sell those, man.
Nah, I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about how much shit I got.
No, I hear you, man. Trust me. I've been doing the same thing. I went through my art supply. Like, I created a corner with all my art supplies. So I just got the time to do it now and shit like that.
If you need a loan, baby.
You know what I mean?
A loan shark now.
Nah, real quick, man. Yo, so I want to get to this part of the interview, actually, man. And actually, not even an interview, just a conversation, man. I want to get to this part of it. I'm going to say some names or some cities. Just tell me the first thing you think about. That's it.
Okay, cool.
Cool? Bronx, New York.
By Yohan Cortez, man. My nigga B. My nigga B. He did most of my tattoos. And I'm glad you had the opportunity to meet him. As one of my best friends in life, he was my mentor.
Real quick, I was actually there during your last encounter with him, right?
Let me tell you something. I did like 10 tattoos with B, and in those 10 tattoos, I was fucked in my head. I didn't want nobody around. I don't want nobody when I was getting my tattoos. I don't want 50 people around. I want nobody around me. It's me, B, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that's it.
It's a personal ritual.
Yeah, I mean that's my routine. That was my ritual. You know, my tattoos are so fucking like important to me that I don't like people around when I'm getting my tattoos done. And so I said, yo, FLAKO, can you come with me on this trip? Like I invited you on this trip to New York so fucking in the spur of the moment. You know, that it was I don't know what triggered me wanting you to be there to document it. And fortunately that you was available and, you know, and down to do it. You know, it's really special to me because that was my last session with B. That was my last time I was one-on-one with him. And you took some really important pictures to me. And you got some really, you got to interview him too. So you have audio from that. And
yeah, I was going to say, I got audio of him, man, which was crazy, man, when we came back and I heard the story, man, it was just like, whoa, man.
Yeah, he did most of my tattoos.
And what hurt me actually with that was, man, that, and I kind of go through this as a photographer sometimes, man, is that B left without seeing those pictures, man.
No way.
He never got to see those pictures, man, and that's not I never really talked about. That's not really, I think I didn't process them until after the news, man. You hit me with the news.
That's a blur to me. I wouldn't even.
Bro, you hit me with the news. You hit me with the news, and I sat down and I processed the pictures afterwards. So I processed them with that mindset of him being gone. So it was like a little experience for me too, man. Just being able to process this project or do this project knowing the intention that was coming out of it in terms of a memory type of thing. So it was real, it made my head stand.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you being there for me for that. Because you got to photograph a ritual that only I experienced. Like I
got to meet an amazing man. And I got to meet an amazing man, man. Because I'll never forget B. I'll never forget B. I'll never forget him screaming at me for whistling in his crib, remember?
Yeah, he's sensitive to energy. He predicted all this shit. He's like, yo, we're going to have a crooked president. We're going to have a disease that infects the people, and the government's going to try to control the people. Like he had these theories about the future. I'm just like, man, be crazy. All his passwords were 27 letters. They were 27 letters long, everything. And he had them written down. Every social media, everything he logged in, he had a different password, a different sequence for every password. Yeah, so I was like, yo, B, can you log into this? He'll pull out his like a long list of, and he'll be like, boom. And then 5 minutes later, he'll be like, enter. I'm like, damn, B, why don't you just put Apple's 444? He goes, nah, man. You know, he had this theory about people being able to hack. And that's true. People, most passwords are easily hackable. Because, you know, you weren't going to fucking hack him.
Bro, B was ahead of his time, man. Let's just say it for what it is, man. B was way ahead of his time.
B was the only motherfucker that checked in on me when I'm photographing my 50 states. You know, I was trying to photograph all 50 states. I've been working on that for like 6-7 years, you know, and B was the only motherfucker that would see
what you got left on that list?
Call me. Huh?
What you got left on that list? Alaska
and Hawaii, man.
Yeah, those been the last two, man, for a little bit.
It's been the last two for a couple of years. I've been, I photographed the Caribbean instead, man. I got anxious. So I photographed 10 countries in the Caribbean before then.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I'm telling you, man, that trip I did in PR, that project I did over there, that shit was life-changing for me, bro.
I love PR, man. I love PR. I wish I can dedicate time to it. PR every month.
Next city, because I got a meeting actually in like 10 minutes, so I want to wrap up in a good note with you.
Smooth.
Next city, real quick. Baton Rouge, Georgia.
Baton Rouge, Georgia. Is that where it was? I don't even know, man. I gotta look at the court papers, man.
Yeah, buddy.
I spent more money on my fucking lawyer than I did on that whole fucking trip.
Yo, bro, I'll never forget. Anytime I hear Baton Rouge, anything, bro, I just get these PTSD flashbacks, bro.
Yeah, those are life lessons, man. I remember that we were strapped for cash. We didn't have. I almost had nothing on me. you know, and
Yo, that's a story to tell for another interview, though. Yo, we can sit here for a whole hour and talk about that.
That day was hell, but I'm just lucky I'm a fucking survivor, and I'm a people person, because we met 2 people that saved our life that day.
Yo,
The
I'm
mechanic
gonna say,
and then Felton.
yeah,
you know,
that's what I was gonna say,
tall
though.
dude.
The 6 foot tall dude with the Elmo pajamas, and we couldn't even
His
laugh.
last name is Felton. I call him Felton. I have him on Facebook. I said I'm in touch with him still.
For real?
Hell yeah! I found him on
listen,
Facebook.
I'll never forget that friendly giant walking out with some Elmo
He was like 9
pajama
feet
on.
tall, and I thought he was gonna fucking kill us, man.
Bro, and he had Elmo. I've never been scared of anybody with Elmo pajama on.
He had Elmo pajamas.
Yo,
I don't remember that detail.
Listen,
man.
bro,
I was shooting bricks.
Bro, his pants, and that was my PTSD kicking in, nigga. I just focused on the most nicest shit I could see around me, which was the fucking Elmo on his pants, bro. And I'm like, yo, this dude got Elmo pajama. I'm gonna die to a motherfucker wearing Elmo pajama, bro. I was like, yo, this ain't life. This ain't life.
Nah, we were stalled out in the middle of his fucking lawn, waking him up in the butt crack of dawn, and he's like, what the fuck do you want?
That was a story, though, bro. That was a story. Listen, that trip was crazy, dog. From your sister giving birth while we were in front of the Waffle House to you bringing home a KFC, a piece
from
of
the
chicken.
original Kentucky Fried Chicken.
We drove from Kentucky all the way to Boston, bro. With a piece of chicken in between our fucking seats in the front seat.
I brought that shit to the hospital.
Paper, that was a KFC piece of chicken from the original KFC, bro.
I brought that shit into the maternity ward. My sister was still in the maternity ward. I brought it into the hospital.
Question of the year, though. Question of the year. Did anybody eat that chicken?
No, but Kiara, my niece, she asked me the other day, like I tell her that story about the chicken. So she's old enough now to ask questions. So she goes, did I eat the chicken? I'm just like, yup. I fuck her.
Traumatized and shit.
Yeah, nah, man, it's a good story, because I was like, I told her I'll bring her something.
Nah,
I wanted my sister to wait until I got back for her to have the baby, but damn.
I got another one for you. Erie, Pennsylvania.
That's Kelvin, man. Kelvin Sanchez, man. K Sands. Yeah, you know, when I think of Kelvin, I think of Erie, I think of Kelvin. Every time I pass Erie, I give him a call.
Bro. You can't mention Erie without me like, yo, my guy, Kevin.
We went on the perfect time of year, because we got to see the Lake Erie frozen. Yeah. You know, so we got to walk on the lake, you know, and
those are my guys,
go with somebody that with Jeff, and Jeff is a fucking.
I was gonna say those are still my guys. I still talk to Jeff. I still talk to Kev. You know what I mean? Jeff the other day shared the picture I took of him in the middle of the lake. He shared it, gave me credit for it. So like, Jeff is my guy, bro. Jeff and Kevin.
Yeah, Jeff's a good dude, man.
They're both
Jeff's
my
a good
guys,
dude. He couldn't believe we were out there on the road taking pictures, making videos, and photographing him as a fisherman. He thought it was just like super cool. And I'm like, for us, we're just like, yo, we're from the fucking city. We don't go on lakes, frozen lakes, bro. Yeah. We're from another side of the world. We don't do that.
Yeah, I remember we wasn't even ready for it, bro. I went on the lake with sneakers, bro. I was like,
yeah, we all had.
I was walking around.
You had sneakers. Everybody else had these big ass boots.
Yeah, bro, I had sneakers. I remember I had this little cute leather jacket. You can tell I was from the city. I was like, yo, I was not ready.
You was not ready for the water.
I was not ready for that shit, dog. But we managed. That shit was lit. We managed. We made it back.
I remember you were taking 2 steps and looking around, then 2 steps and looking around.
Yo, my favorite part was when we walked in the ice. When we walked on the ice, and I remember I was walking on the white ice because it feels safer than the black ice. And then Jeff was like, nah, bro, the white means there's oxygen in that ice. And the black means it's solid ice. I was like, yo, I'm not meant for survival. Like, I would have jumped on the white ice thinking that shit was safe, dog.
Yo, bro, when that car broke down, you had no idea what the fuck to do. That's how I tell you from the South End. You walking ass motherfucker.
Bro, I don't even drive, man. You want me to fix the whip?
What do we do?
I don't even drive. You want me to fix it? Well, I'm like, yo, you better call AAA or some shit.
I had to figure out whether or not the alternator was gone, the starter was gone, or the battery, and I had to troubleshoot us to get the fuck out of there, man. But that was like
I remember
that trip tested our survival shit.
I remember all I helped with was financially and morally.
Yeah,
That's it.
nah,
Everything
because
else is on
we
you.
didn't have nothing. We didn't have nothing. The thing is, I lost my bank card, and we're in the middle of Georgia that didn't have Bank of America anywhere in the fucking
Legit,
in
bro.
the area. So I had to get to a Bank of America to pull money out. So it's just
Not
like,
only
yo,
that,
honestly,
not only that.
between me and you, we had exactly what we needed to get the fuck
Yeah,
out of there.
I remember though. Do you remember the last one I remember that I'll bring up? Remember the hotel room in Tennessee?
Ruby Fall. That was in Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. Yo, you remember the cockroaches in the bathroom, all that shit?
That's gross, bro. I try to have so many memories of bad hotels. I try not to remember.
Yo, I'm laughing because I remember I went to take a shower and you was like, I ain't showering in this shit. And I was like, nah,
shit.
bro, I
There was
got to
roaches
shower,
in
bro.
the
And when I
shower.
got in the bathroom, I started screaming, Dante,
We
there's a
were at a hotel.
cockroach.
See, my girl
There's a
just looked at me.
cockroach.
Yeah, nah. See, my girl put me. She put the end to the end to my cheap motel runs, because I used to go to cheap motel. I don't give a fuck. $20.
She should have been around that trip because we suffered by the guy.
We went to this hotel called the Honey Pot Inn, right? And she's like, D, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, G, we're gonna come up, stop playing. It's $30. We're just gonna one night. We're just gonna sleep and go to leave. She's like, D, what the fuck? And I was
Where's
like,
G
come on,
at?
I got
She's
this.
there?
I got this. We got. What happened?
I said, where's G at? She's there?
She's there. You know, she's over here. Yeah,
What up, G?
Chilling. G? Yeah, she's over. She can't hear you. So we went to the counter. When we got to the counter, the guy goes, how many hours? I'm just like, oh my Gayla's like, yo, I'm fucking out of here. I'm just like, yo, we staying over. And the guy was like, you staying the whole night? I'm just like, oh my God.
Nigga said, well, I shouldn't? Like, I shouldn't?
I'm like, yo, that's how you know you're at a hotel you should be at. The guy says, how many hours? You know,
He's like, yo, ain't nobody stay here past 3. Nobody stays past 3.
And then when we get into the room, on the top it said, rest in peace, Dizzy. I'm just like, oh shit. Damn. Somebody died in this room.
Dizzy
we slept with our clothes on. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, we did that in Tennessee too. Remember that we took the blankets, we wrapped ourselves up like burritos.
Yo, bro, I'm done with those motels.
Yo, we wrapped ourselves like burritos. We wrapped ourselves like burritos, and we just let our body fall in bed. And then we just stayed there for like 3-4 hours. We woke up again. Like vampires, bro. Like vampires, just went right back up and just went to the car, bro. I remember that. That was horrible, bro. That was horrible.
I try to erase as many fucking those nasty ass hotel memories as possible.
Those are good times, though, man. Those are good times.
I woke up in DC once. I had like 12 bed bugs on each arm. That fucking motel fucked me up. So I'm done with hotels with names I don't recognize. If I pull up to a hotel and I've never heard of it before, I'm not staying.
No, I hear you, dog.
I'm a review fucking nerd now. I'll sit in front of your hotel and read the first 300 comments. If I see bed bug once, I'm not fucking staying.
Yo, you know what's my new technique, bro? I always read the bad ones. I go straight to the bad reviews. I go straight to the bad reviews. Even if it's a product I'm buying on Amazon, I go straight to the bad shit. I want to hear what's the worst thing that somebody's saying, and if I could deal with that, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. So I definitely encourage making reviews and doing reviews of shit you're not happy about, because you know it could change a company's future and how they deal with people, how they interact with people, because I don't think, and somebody that sells you a hotel and sells you the idea that you're safe for the night, you should be safe for the night. You know what I mean? If you're in the business of offering a place to sleep, you should keep that place fucking clean
and safe.
You know what I mean? That's just me. I mean, that's just me. Like you offer me a bed, it means you offer me a home. You offer me a home for the night. That should be presentable. It should be fucking clean.
Nah, I should be safe. I should be able to get my sleep. I should be able to shower. I should be able to relax.
Bro, I'm done. I don't give a fuck. I'll spend twice as much as long as I can recognize it. I'm not a bougie person. I just need a hotel that's not gonna fucking have problems.
Real quick, man, before we wrap up, who or what has been the most influential experience throughout your whole creative, like what's one memory, man? If you had to erase all your creative memories and you can only keep one, man, which one would you keep?
I would say the first time I interviewed Stan Lee, and that's something nobody's even seen yet.
I was there actually. That was dope.
No, the first time. Wait.
No, actually, I'm lying. I'm lying. I was there for the panel. Never mind. I was there for the panel.
Oh, you know what? You was there for the panel. That panel is what led to more opportunity. It led to more opportunities. But you was there for the first time I met.
Yeah, I remember the panel. That's it. It wasn't.
That was the first time I met Stan Lee, and that led to a domino effect. I was in Texas, and I ran into his agent at the time, and he's like, "D, I got you. I'll give you 5 minutes." I'm like, "Wow." So, we got 5 minutes with Stan Lee, and he wasn't doing interviews that day, that weekend, and for me, Stan Lee is the biggest comic interview that I'll ever get, or sit down, or biggest, that doesn't get bigger than that. Being able to sit down with him and get his feelings and get
It'll
his
never
thoughts
get
out
bigger
of
than
him,
Stan Lee, bro.
so that
Can't
was
get
really
bigger than
special to me,
Stan.
man. That was really, really special. So, and then that's something I'll never forget. But I'll never forget Bret Hart neither. Bret Hart creatively, that was like my hero. My first slideshow was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. So I met Bret Hart and I met Shawn Michaels. And I got to tell Shawn Michaels I hated that he won that match. And then he was just like, you're not the only one that says that.
He knows what's up.
He was shaking his head because he signed my shit. I have the picture over there. It's framed over there. It's Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart has Shawn Michaels in the sharpshooter, and it's both signed by Bret and Shawn.
That's lit.
But creatively, like, that's for me. Like, that picture of seeing it there, that's for me. Like, this is another one right here. I have this in my room at all times. This never goes anywhere. Bam. The first time I covered a panel, Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Ninja Turtles. So when I went to go say thank you, I took this with me. This was his name banner at the Comic-Con. It says, "To Dante, you rule." I'm a diehard Ninja Turtles fan, so to have this is like my fucking championship belt. I fucking walk around the room with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
My favorite story though is when we went up, and I'll close off with this. When we went off, I think it was Rhode Island, and we were working with the guy who did Jason, Friday the 13th though.
Yep, Kane Hodder.
And he told you to fuck off.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, yo, that was classic.
But hey, you want an interview? I'm just like, yeah, man, let's do it, man, let's work. He's just like, go fuck yourself. I was like, nah, man, I'm kidding, let's do it. I was like, wow.
But that was deep, yo. But that was beautiful because it's like, bro, Jason just told me to fuck myself, bro. Like to me, that's hilarious. That's the closest you can get to being a victim to Jason, bro. It's like,
he was scary as hell, man. I was shitting bricks.
He was, though. He was. He really was.
But that was the first time, like, the owner of Rhode Island Comic Con, Steve Perry, the creator, that's his baby, Rhode Island Comic Con. That was the first time that he pulled someone to the side and says, "Yo, this is Dante Luna. You're gonna want to talk to him, man. You guys, he does really good interviews." And then Kane Hodder shook my hand in that moment. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Oh, you want to do an interview?" You know what I mean? So like that was the first time that promoter, because with that event, I'm like a mercenary. I go in there and I find the most exclusive material I can come up with. And then that's what he trusts me with. But he never directly introduces me to anybody. I got to go out there and fucking find the best of it. But that moment means a lot to me, man. That was a pretty good, that was one of my first big horror interviews.
That's dope, man. Listen, I appreciate you so much, Steve, man. This was a fun conversation, man. I hope we do it again, man. There's nothing but love on this side with you, man. It's way more than just creative partners, man. You're a brother to me, man. There's a lot more personal stuff we didn't even touch because it belongs to us. But but with that being said, man, I got nothing but love for you. Keep your work going, man. You already know you got a brother in me, man. I love watching you work.
Love, man. It's love.
And we're going to grow from here, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. See you later, man.
Blessings.